Hey everybody, welcome back to Music Theory Logic. My name's Andrew, and today is going to be another I Wish I Knew. I know it's been a while since I did these videos, so hopefully you're happy to see me back at it. And today, it's I wish I knew that social media was going to drive me crazy. So like when I got into music originally, I didn't, no one had even mentioned the term social media. So I started in guitar, or I started in music playing piano. If you've seen my life lessons from music, I talk a little bit about my history. But I don't want to date myself, but I'm a child of the late '80s, off the record. Though I'm a baby face, I'd like to think. But basically, social media came out, I want to say, like when I was a senior in high school. I remember when I got into college and they gave me a college email. That was like the first year that I could um, get an account with Facebook. I'd heard about it. So I created a Facebook account, and Facebook was like really, really young at the time. You still had to have a college, like an @edu email to even start. That's how I met my freshman roommate from college when I was gonna go, and I joined some like college message boards and stuff like that. And I think like many people, we've been focused on living our lives and performing our normal duties, like paying rent and hanging out with our friends and everything that life just keeps going. And I was just sort of reflecting on social media and how like I wish I sort of knew how to approach it and how to use it in the way that I want to use it, but also not let it use me, if that makes sense. So I think that social media. So there's been few documentaries that have come out, like Fake Fame, or something like that, which is a really good one. You should check it out. Or The Social Dilemma, which is about sort of the uh, lottery machine, or the sort of marketing, the things that social media do to keep us engaged. And I don't know if you're like this, but or if you maybe have an iPhone or you have statistics on like using your phone. But I got that recently, and I had no idea how much I sort of was on social media without realizing it. And as a musician, I sort of reluctantly got on Instagram in the early days as a way to try to promote my band at the time. And I really neglected the social media for a while. I didn't understand the importance. And then I sort of understood that I didn't need to use social media to try to, flex or to peacock, or to, show people how like awesome I am, but rather use social media just to find my people. Um, Obviously with the lockdown and stuff like that, I really, like many of you, haven't been out socializing as much. But even as a music professional before that, I'm working a lot, and I get to do a lot of really fun stuff working with artists and being around music all the time. But I also work really like all the time. And so the social media really is a way for me to keep up with my peers in the industry, to find other people that are like-minded and all of that stuff. But I really just wish I knew that social media had the ability to drive me and the people around me crazy. I think that a lot of the chaos in the world is a result of us not knowing, us just learning how to deal with each other when we have the internet, and our communication never ends. And in the music industry, I think there's been like a weird thing that happened with social media, where I like to think of like Jimi Hendrix on Instagram, or any of my sort of like hero, or the world's hero musicians that predate social media. There's really like a different kind of skill set that was rewarded in that era versus the current era. And there are certainly benefits to the social media. The idea that anyone with an idea and a phone can get their idea to people is a really amazing thing. But at the same time, the same creative people, let's say musicians or poets or authors, have to be, in the former era, when you needed publishers and record labels to print hard copies of things, there were sort of like the gatekeepers. And the downside to that was that with gatekeepers, only certain people are going to get through. But the upside to the gatekeepers is the people that got through, perhaps on their skill set in the music industry. So bands or musicians with great songs and great performing abilities that got through. They were really focused much more on just the music than you are now. I think a common theme you're going to notice from a lot of my videos that aren't straight up music tutorials is that music and sort of like business running or entrepreneurialism is super tied together. And I think some of the biggest performers are people who have figured out how to navigate social media. So you make a song, people that figure out how to get a lot of people to hear that song. That's sort of the first step. It's got to be a great song. A lot of people have to hear it. And it takes a special kind of artist, somebody who has a balance between the left and right brain, or you can't just be in the, space thinking about creative ideas. You also have to think really practically. So yeah, I think social media, I wish I knew it could drive me crazy. Now I know it does. I'm trying to figure out how to not let it drive me crazy. Certain things that are drive me crazy about it, it's just like it's hard not to like look at the analytics, really. And by looking at analytics, that can really get in the way, because all of us who make anything that's not just straight up the analytics is we need to focus on making stuff. And I don't know if you're familiar with some music history, but like Led Zeppelin 1 album obviously stole a lot of music, but was ripped apart by the critics. And a lot of things, if they had the ability to watch analytics instantly, would perhaps have been different. And I think part of the problem, not just me personally, but the whole industry is dealing with, is like we have the ability to micromanage everything. Like the analytics, we can see what regions streams come from, we can see how long they stream for. We can try to think that we have the ability to really like design how people are going to interact with our art. And I just think that that's kind of like lying to ourselves. So I'm going to try to stop watching the analytics. As Rogan says, I'm going to try to learn to post and ghost. And I think you guys should do the same. But let me know in the comments, are you guys doing well with the social media stuff? Am I just like a weak person with this? But I feel like that's not the case. I think there's a lot of signs that like social media is a new strange thing that we all have to figure out how to live with. So cheers to that. I hope you guys are doing well and staying safe out there. Keep making music, and don't forget to send me some instrumentals or songs with lyrics. I'd love to check your work out. Till next time, thanks for tuning in.